What's up guys, Togui here and welcome back to more Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Last episode we started making our way through the Vim Factory. Starting out here, I have backtracked into the Toadwood Forest just to collect the beans. You can see on the top screen on the map, we're just up in the first section in the area by the warp pipe. That's where you can get 2 beans here, and then if we take this pipe, on the other side of it, there are 2 more beans to be found. As far as I'm aware, these are the only beans to worry about in the Toadwood Forest, and I'll meet you back inside the factory. Alright, and this is where we left off at the end of the last episode. We already got all the beans so far inside the factory itself. As for Bowser's Castle, we'll return in a later episode to go pick those up. Alright, so we have some new enemies here. You can see this guy. If he spins, they're aiming for Luigi. And then if, oh, well, he didn't want to do the attack on Mario, but if they sparkle, they're going to attack Mario. This is Dr. Shroob. You can see they can basically pull out a mushroom after they attack, either a gray one or a red one. We'll start by attacking the gray one. Whenever they get hit, they drop the mushroom that they're holding. And it looks like these guys have around 29 HP. They can also shoot twice. And if they get to their turn while they're holding a mushroom, they will eat it. If they eat a red mushroom, they grow large, and you have to hammer them back. Now let's let the guy with the gray mushroom eat his, so we can see what happens when they do that. And the gray mushroom is definitely not good for you. Actually causes them to shrink. And they end up doing the same attack, so it's really just a matter of which you think is easier to counter. I didn't notice if there was a damage difference, but I guess to anyone watching the video, you can just kind of rewind and look at that to pay attention on which is more advantageous. I almost think the large guy is a bit easier to hit. I don't know if he has higher defense, in which case it's definitely advantageous to let them eat the gray mushroom, but of course I could just keep missing my action commands and being completely awful at this game. Now, the enemy up here is... oh my gosh. Okay, very difficult to deal with. And this is a Lakitu-FO, or Lakitufo, as I so endearingly call it. Not endearingly, but always just said Lakitufo, not ever thinking like, oh yeah, it's a Lakitu-UFO. Lakitu-FO. These are the guys that are throwing the... wow, okay. I have a lot to talk about here. These are the guys that are throwing the spiny Shroopas. You can see they have one attack where they kind of... well, in both attacks, they just go and stand up in front of the brother. There's one attack where they are going to then... wow, okay. This is embarrassing. One attack where they drop... are you serious? I guess I should be looking at my actual DS instead of the capture window to lower the latency. So if you have the jump action icon, it means he's going to launch himself at you. And if you get the hammer one, it means that he's going to throw one of the spiny Shroopas. In which case, if you don't hammer it back, as we saw before, and we see again now, it becomes its own enemy that you have to fight. I really would like to successfully counter one of his attacks, so I'm intentionally leaving him alive. I want to show that if you hammer it back, it does not become an enemy. Thank you. That wasn't so difficult, but I guess it was for me. According to my notes, these guys have 26 HP, so this should not take him out, just barely. Let's see if I can properly dodge this. No, I cannot. Wow, I am doing completely awfully. But such is the par course something or other. 2 green shells and a cannonball, or at least he gives good items. Such is the case when you are trying to do live commentary while playing the game. I am just apparently very bad at it and very out of practice. Ah, right there. Interesting thing, the spiny Shroopas can double attack like that. I've gotten pretty lucky so far, despite getting hit by a lot of the spiny Shroopas as well as the ball attacks from the Lakitu-FO. Lakitu-FO. Jeez, I'm not going to figure out how to say that right. I still haven't gotten poisoned. I'm sure we'll cover that at some point whenever it happens. I did see 5s in there. Also see 6s. Yes, thank you. Finally a good stat bonus. Plus 5 HP, very much needed considering how much I've been getting hit. We do have some good numbers in there, also good ones in here. We get a 4. It looks like this episode we're going to get a little luckier compared to last time. Alright, I went ahead and cleared out the rest of the enemies in the room. A few things. One, it's possible that the Dr. Shroob different forms actually deal different damage rather than having different defense. That's entirely possible. Also, quick note, there are some beans here. You can see me picking them up. Also, unfortunate thing is when you're using the adults, you can't first strike with a hammer. So you can't get a first strike on anything that is spiked. Lots of beans to get. And I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, I don't know. Basically, with the hammer attack, when you're doing the piggyback version of it, you might as well, once you hit the adult button, you might as well hit the babies button right away, because there's, as far as I can tell, there's no window where it won't count it for the action command. All right, after taking that guy out, we can whack this button with the hammer. Oh, there's another Lakitu. I can try to definitely do better this time. Maybe we'll leave this fight in since we've only shown one Lakitu fight so far. All right, here we go. Gotta do the hammering back. Yeah! All right. I think we'll actually go for a Bro Flower, and we can try out using the baby buttons to throw at flying enemies. Yeah, you can see they only target flying enemies when you use the button there. I think that's fine. From here, I'm just going to use... Oh, okay, I guess you definitely can hit it too early, so never mind on the advice I was just giving before. Alright, I want to get the counterattack on the jumping command. See there, I also did that counterattack really early with the hammer, and it still counted it, which is pretty lucky. Speaking of pretty lucky, could you get any better timing with the wording there? All right, here we go. Okay, I successfully did the dodge. As you would expect, since it's an attack where an enemy goes underneath the bro, you can counter it if you land on his head. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, we'll go ahead and use a hammer attack on a flying enemy and show that you will miss. So you have to use jumps on flying enemies. You have to use jumps on flying enemies. You have to use hammers on on spiky enemies. And of course, for me wanting to just show off something cool and be suboptimal, I get hit and we have to take out another enemy. But thankfully not too big of a deal. Oh, he almost tried to spawn another enemy, or at least went into the animation for it as he was defeated. This ledge is too high to throw the babies onto, so we will have to continue on normally. Oh, I wish I had encountered this before he had spawned another enemy for me to fight. So if you are not like me, and you are instead someone who wants to actually play the game properly, it's advantageous to, or I guess I've been saying that word a lot, it's better to attack the Lakitu first, so that you don't have to deal with it spawning new enemies. Now, if we hit this switch here, that is going to open the path forward for the adults, and you can kind of see what's going on here, where we have to alternate between the adults and the babies, and use these blocks again to activate the path forward for each alternating pair. That's basically the whole gimmick of this game, whereas Superstar Saga had you splitting up Mario and Luigi. In this one, you're splitting up babies and adults. Quick note, right here we do have a bean to pick up. Also, I believe the adults could get attacked while the babies are the active characters, and it would obviously just switch things back. Alright, level up from the fight, and an interesting thing there is the Dr. Shroobs didn't pull out mushrooms after their attacks. Where do we want a bonus? None of these are really great except for speed, so I'll go for speed, even though Mario typically doesn't need a ton of speed. But he is getting outsped by certain enemies, so it will be nice to have. Luigi, where are we going to go with you? Power? I see a 5 on there, but I'm going to get a 1. I had a feeling. There were a lot of 1s on that wheel. That's all right. We're doing okay. at this point in the game where I don't really feel like we need to get something drastic. Ah, I see. These are actually passed through. I'm looking at my recording where they're a bit flickery just due to the frame rate. But on the DS, they are very much flickering on and off, whereas the babies have an active pair up on the left because I didn't remember to switch scenes. Oh well. And by hitting all 4 of those, we activate a platform to allow the babies to jump up. But again, you can see what I mean. It's like this platform doesn't look that much higher than this one, yet it makes a huge difference on whether or not you can get up there. Maybe that wasn't the best example of it, but anyway. We've reached the end of this path with the adults, so we will walk them back all the way over here. I guess I didn't really need to do that because there was this warp pipe. Don't hit it though, because we need the babies to come across here. You know, these boxes on grates are really a worthless obstacle, because all they mean is that only the babies can get by, but only the babies can get up here. So we need to have them drop down here, and we can smash these 2 buttons to open these 2 doors. Now, if you look on the top screen, you can clearly see the door on the right goes ahead to another room, leading to a save block, leading to a dead end with a different color floor. I wonder what that could mean. So we're going to go through the door on the left first, grab this bean here. Thankfully, I believe any spiny Shroopas that Lakitu-UFO spawns while we're on this side will all despawn by the time we make it back over there because we've been changing rooms. Grab another bean, and we have our first instance of something I didn't go and read the thing on the wall for. So this is going to send a ball of light to one of the brothers' blocks at random, and you see every time we hit this, we're getting 10 coins. And it's basically, I think, on a timer, and this block really hates baby Luigi, it appears. It's clearly not until you mess up, because I've messed up a few times and it hasn't done anything. I also don't think it's based on a number of mistakes. Piggyback, man jump, baby jump, hit, high block, joy. Yeah, that's just saying how to activate it. You gotta do the double jump there. But that gave us a ton of coins, right? That was, what, 300? So in that fight, I had Mario go, then the enemies, and then Luigi, which is because I raised Mario's speed so much, he's now outspeeding the enemies, but Luigi isn't. Also, I think I started to mention this. Oh, 4 cannonballers. I think I started to mention this, that in a previous battle that I cut out, and I guess I'll leave this one in since I have so many things I need to talk about. Oh, wow, 17 damage. In a previous battle that I cut out, it was just the adults fighting a pair of Dr. Shroobs, and they didn't pull out mushrooms after their attack. So I'm wondering if they only do that if you're fighting with both the adults and babies. I feel like there was... Oh, hey, I got the counterattack. You can see what that looks like. And then I messed up the timing, so... And I pressed the wrong button there. I was trying to hit cancel, and I hit X instead of left. Because you gotta remember that the B button doesn't cancel in this game. So, Super Mushroom, that is nice. Moving upwards, we've got 3 Bro Flowers, another battle cut. Alright, I remembered what I was trying to say, which is that if you're in a battle against 2 Dr. Shroobs, or like 1 Dr. Shroob and another enemy, you may want to, or actually specifically against 2, you probably want to target the target one with both attacks. Alright, I guess I'll have to continue what I was saying after this level up. We have a level up for Baby Mario. We'll get +4 on stash. I'm expecting 1 on Baby Luigi, because again, since the brothers don't get split up in this game nearly as much as they did in Superstar Saga, I think it can happen. You'll typically get your level ups at the same time, at least for both babies or both adults. What I'm saying is that if you're in a group of multiple Dr. Shroobs, you want to typically focus your attacks on the ones that already have lost their mushrooms, because when they attack with a mushroom, you can counter them, whereas if they attack with the guns, all you can do is dodge. And on both the... well, first of all, let's see, we need to move to the right. On both the... I tested out on both the... Geez, what am I trying to say? The red mushroom and the gray mushroom, the counterattack from Mario did the same damage to both of them. Hitting this first switch will create a path across, but we do need a second path across. So we're going to get the adults back on this block and then have them keep moving forward. You can see there are a bunch of blocks here in this maze to pick up. Or not really a maze so much as just an area that is covered in electricity. We can get a 1-up mushroom. What did that first block have? Some mushrooms, I think. Honestly, was not paying enough attention. This one has some green shells, and hopefully this will be far enough over, but actually we can just stop it here if it's not. Yes, this one just has 3 coins. Very exciting. And then we get the adults over here, where we can then walk over and activate this pair of blocks, which then on the top screen will create a second path over that had we walked over, we would have realized we needed. So now we should, now we should continue with the babies. I will skip out this fight. All right, now we have the babies continue across. One more fight. All right, and now we can have the babies walk out, rejoin the adults here on the bottom screen because there's no pipe to warp them over, and they obviously can't make the platform cross the minefield if they're down on the minefield, and enter this door. All right, in this room, all we have is a save album and a path forward, which basically any video game player should be able to figure out what that means. Notice the mushroom drop does heal to all characters. However, the baby HP doesn't matter if you're in a battle where you have both the adults and the babies. I believe if an adult dies, then the baby health will matter at that point, but I'm not super concerned about that happening without getting a chance to use an item. So I'm just going to use a mushroom on the Luigi. And just checking our equipment. I don't think I want to change to any of this attack-oriented gear. As for badges, we've already got all the badges we own equipped. So I think we are, ready to save. Almost moved on without doing that. Babies are actually a higher level than the adults because of that Hammer Bro fight, giving a bunch of experience, I think. But let's move on to the next room. Oh, it's a Wiggler! So cute. Drinking soda, and whoa, that's creepy. Powering up the Shroob ships. So you can see actually the purple mushroom there is the Shroob head, and the red eyes we see in the ship are actually their eyes. Seems pretty small for a ship if you think about it. How is that supposed to abduct anything? And the babies decided to knock over the drink, which has enraged the Wiggler, as we would expect to have happen. And it's a good thing this is a perfectly sized arena for the actual first boss fight. I should have spoken more correctly. Those Hammer Brothers were just a mini-boss. So here we have the Swiggler. This is the first major boss of the game, accompanied by 2 Dr. Shroobs. Now, as you would expect if you've played Superstar Saga, if you attack a red Wiggler, you are barely going to do any damage, and it is going to counterattack with these shockwaves that you need to jump over. They're not too hard to counter. It can also spit out these clouds that you need to hammer back twice. Now, the Swiggler has pulled out a drink, and the Dr. Shroobs have pulled out mushrooms. This is called interesting and unique game design in a turn-based RPG. If you attack the Dr. Shroob, it'll actually drop its mushroom into the drink. And then again, we saw that attacking the enraged Swiggler isn't really useful. If we wait for it to take its turn, it will drink the drink, and if it drinks one from a poison mushroom, it will basically get tired out, not feel so good, and be extremely vulnerable to different attacks that we can now use to do a decent amount of damage. Now, I don't think I'm going to show this off because I don't feel like making my life harder, but if you knock a red mushroom into the drink and let it drink it, it will regain HP. But I think this is the perfect time to show a cannonballer on the Swiggler. It is going to launch all 4 bros into a cannon, and then they will fall in the order, let's see, Baby Mario, Mario, Baby Luigi, Luigi. So you have to hit the buttons in that order, and 66 damage just like that. See, this is a really powerful attack. And if you mess up any of the individual, they basically get launched out in a random order each time. So this is AXBY. I think if you mess up any of the individual action commands, it's not too big of a deal. It just messes up that one. Now, I mentioned if it gets a red mushroom drink, it'll heal. If it gets a green regular drink, it will charge up the ships, and they will attack. So the one on the bottom attacks Luigi, and they will switch places, but they will attack the one they originally did. So you have to keep in mind that when they switch, then the bottom one attacks Mario, and the top one attacks Luigi. This really isn't too bad of a fight. I believe this guy has 250 HP. So again, with just 2 cannonballers there, we already dealt like basically half of that in terms of damage. You will have to just let these Dr. Shroobs eat their red mushrooms. Also, I believe after you defeat them, they will respawn after a while, considering you do need the mushrooms to be there to be able to take out the Swiggler by having it drink the poisoned drink. Also, the fact that that guy, that Dr. Shroob, survived much more than 29 or 26 or whatever, 29 damage, indicates that these probably have more HP than the regular Dr. Shroobs that we were dealing with back throughout the main area of the Vim factory. But this is really what all the cannonballers are for. We have XABY. I always like saying out loud the order we're going in. Ooh, we got a lucky hit there. That's going to give us 88 damage, and that's actually it. All right. I do really like the effect they have for bosses exploding. It is much snazzier than it was in Superstar Saga. And we got a mushroom drop from that. Of course, as you can expect from all the experience we just gained there, Mario's going to get a level up. Alright, 2. You know what? As long as it's not a 1, I'm happy. That's all that I need. Luigi's also going to hit level 9. Wow, we've got some great numbers on Stash. Let's go for that +6. I think the lowest thing I saw in there was a 3. So that really was a nice thing to pick. And apparently that Swiggler had a Cobalt Star Shard inside of it. And there we get the second Cobalt Star Shard. Very exciting. Now we have 2. Yes, Mario, please keep holding those up in the air while Bowser Jr. shows up. No, don't turn to follow him. You're going to get dizzy. Wasn't there one of the Koopalings from Bowser's Castle in Superstar Saga does this and reverses your controls? And yeah, somehow that means Baby Bowser swipes both of our Cobalt Star Shards. So unfortunate. We didn't even get to look at our inventory having 2 of them before that happened. Thought you could get away with stealing my treasure from my castle, did you? It's payback time. I'll take my treasure plus whatever you just picked up as compensation. You know what? That is fair. We did steal from him. So he just took back what was his and then stole a little more to get even. And, well, don't get even, get ahead, you know? Somehow we are still dizzy. Shame cycle initiated. We must return to our own time and rework our strategy. And somehow we just get warped into the time hole. Still freaking out. Thankfully, they don't make you walk all the way back. But you imagine you could have just walked out of the Vim factory back through Toadwood Forest to the time hole that got us there, which appears to be exactly what's happened because we've warped right here. And whenever you warp with just the adult or just the babies, so that you don't leave the others in a different part in time, the other pair will just kind of pop out to the side. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. In the next one, we will go talk to Professor Egad, as the top screen is yelling at us to do, and figure out what we're going to do from here now that we have gone from 1 Cobalt Star Shard to 0. All right, see you guys next time.